well, right on top of the masthead, Yuguda Kwankwaso's deception of Dang is a tragedy for Nigeria. Suswam insists leaving NSGF was not a mistake. Wamako, I have been vindicated, calls for Amechi's recall. It's on the front page, a full one for this day today. Well, I'll leave it at that.
Well, The Guardian has couched theirs differently, but it's also on the PDP. Jonathan in emergency meeting with Tukur over PDP crisis. Party chairman refuses to quit. That's how they couch theirs. In other words, has he been asked to quit and he's refusing, or he's simply saying that that was not the message?
Well, the only thing I know there is there's a deja vu. I've heard this before, I've seen it before.
It promises to be interesting. Well, party chairman refuses to quit. That's how they couch their own rider. Pro-Amechi governors may move against him tomorrow. President Akpabio head reconciliation committees. And NLC chief warns Mimiko. You might want to know why. You find details on page 2 of The Guardian. Another story now. NLNG goes to court over levies dispute with Nimasa. Story is on page 5.
They're back again?
Oh, yes. They're going to court now.
Yeah, no, they hadn't gone at the time. So.
Okay. Well, it doesn't say that they are about to go to court. I think this time around they have gone to court. Maybe Nimasa finally made them go. Find details on page 5 of The Guardian. Presidency, governors move to resolve rift over Federation account. Vow to check loss of revenues to oil theft. Details on page 2 of The Guardian. And operators savor fresh stock market growth. So it seems the NSE is bouncing back and operators are happy about that. Details on page 4 of The Guardian. That will be all for the paper.
Okay, so that also ends our look at some of the front pages today. Don't forget that you can always comment on any other matters you've seen in the front pages or anyone you perhaps have had up to here. We welcome that. Well, give us a moment. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, today we'll be starting off with, remember that warning that NIMET gave, which they say they got from the center in the Czech Republic, where so many are responding and making a comment or two. We actually decided to do some expose and get them to shed some more light on this one. In fact, some say they just shed some heat and not light. And so we decided to look at that today, but we've severally tried to get across to Mr. Ifeanyi Nnodu, who is the Director of Weather Forecasting, to just break it down for those who don't understand. But as we speak, it's not forthcoming. Well, we're joined now, anyway, by Mr. Sulaiman Arigbabu, who is an environmentalist. Manana, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
Well, this warning by NIMET, where they talked about, I mean, the way the warning comes, it just means that, look, something really serious is just ahead of us, and southern states should just put all necessary measures in place to ensure that no unfortunate scenario plays itself out. But having gone through that warning, how did you interpret it? Because, I mean, you're an environmentalist, but people see it differently. What was your perspective when you saw it?
Thank you. The warning is consistent with what they have told us for a while, particularly at the beginning of this year, that we should expect more rain. And it's also consistent with what we are seeing globally. The rain is becoming more torrential. The spate of flooding is increasing. So it's something to expect. Perhaps what we might want to question is it's not enough to come out with this warning. The mode of communicating the warning is important. There is a total package of communicating such warning. It is good that we communicate warnings, because when we don't do that, then we have to give condolences. But we might still end up giving condolences if we just, give out a message and there's so much panic in the system and people are not enlightened, empowered with the right information about what to do. If you see this, how do you move? What do you do? So if you don't give that, if we don't allow a thorough system of communicating down the line, then we might end up with panic, and it really still does not help.
Okay, we actually do have a report about this. I think it was Sharon who went to town. I spoke with some of the people out there concerning what to expect, how this warning is, or where it's predicated on. But from your perspective, you say we have to shed some more light on this. But if you look at the fact that the warning comes from not just emanating from them now, and so as soon as they received it from the J, let's say they had to let the people know. But you had rains also coming through in some parts of Lagos and perhaps in some other southern areas. And so maybe, just maybe, that's a tip of what to expect, you think?
Yes, it is definitely a tip of what to expect. We expect more rain. Flooding has been with us before we started to occupy this space. It's going to continue to happen. It's how we plan ourselves, how we respond to flooding. That is what determines whether it leads to disasters. When you look across Europe now, there's a lot of flooding going on. Yes, they have recorded some death here and there, but you would imagine that if the same thing were to happen in some less resilient cities, then we'll have worse disasters than they are experiencing. So for us in Nigeria, we do know that quite a number of government, maybe at the state and some other levels, are trying to put things in place. But most things are still haphazard because we don't have a comprehensive planning. NEMA has been trying to, be there, but it's not enough. There's no single agency that can rise up to the level of threats that we are facing from.
It brings to mind, a couple of times you've actually been to so many summits outside the country where these have been discussed, especially with regards to climate change. Do you think we really have experts in some of these specific areas or agencies? Because if you say, the information hasn't been disseminated properly, are we doing the right thing?
Thank you, and it's good that we quickly zero this down, to climate change and Nigeria's responsiveness, to the problem. We do have people who are now aware, particularly at the level of NEMA. We know that they are involved in all the global discussions on disaster risk reduction and what have you. So we do have people who are now aware, but